Good afternoon. Hope you're doing well. Welcome to the webinar for today. What I wanted to do, just talk about a few things today as far as what's going on in the market, but let me bring up a slide here. What I wanted to be, but what can be a help to people as they're going through this volatile period that, let's face it, people are a little scared to put trades on because they're concerned with the risk. So I called this I'm starting Saturday. I'm going to run the next 4 Saturdays. If you look here, it says Hedged Strategy Series in Volatile Markets, a new 4th session online series. You'll see that I'm going to do four Saturdays in a row. This coming March 21st, and all of these will be at 11 Eastern, and they'll go for 2 hours. So for the next 4 Saturdays at 11 Eastern for 2 hours, this coming will be the Saturday Hedged Credit Spreads. And so what's nice about it is I'm going to talk about put credit spreads, call credit spreads, and how you can hedge them, how you can set them up so that kind of credit spreads, you can almost call them broken wing butterflies, but some credit spreads on the call side that would have no risk on the upside, extreme limited risk on the downside. So I think for a lot of people who do credit spreads, this is going to be an important class because you want to take advantage of the high volatility, but you want to be able to handle huge moves. And so this would be a great class for you this Saturday. The Saturday after that, April 4th, will be on Hedged Long Diagonals, where we'll show you how to set these up to take advantage of the high volatility, but also to take advantage if there was an unexpected and 1,000 points down or whatever. March 28th, Hedged Iron Condors, and then April 11th, back spreads. All of these are going to be extremely helpful navigating through the next 2-3 months. Let's face it. How many of you think what's going on now will be done in the next week or two? No. And so I think this volatility is here. So really, I think these are going to be 4 extremely helpful classes, excuse me, that will help you deal with trades in this volatile market and just much more comfort in trading during this. And again, you have the prices. Each class will be 2 hours minimum. It'd be $147. And there's just you could click on whichever one you want. The one this Saturday is the March 21st. These will be on Saturdays at 11 Eastern. That'll be 10 Central or 8 Pacific. They'll go 2 hours. I'll have PowerPoints, so you'll have slides on it so you can duplicate this stuff, risk management, and we'll go 2 hours. And that's it. If you can't make it on a Saturday, a particular day, again, it should be available a couple hours after, as I said. What's nice about Saturday, whether you can make it or not, it'd be nice if you came. But even if you don't, you could send me questions if you had some, but you'll have PowerPoint slides. Everything will be set for you. Again, the class this Saturday at 11 Eastern, 9 Pacific, 10 Central. I mean, this will be a very applicable class, hedged credit spreads. And I'm going to talk about 3 or 4 different hedges. And I think it'll be a big help to you. These will be recorded to be watched later. So the 2 hours for this Saturday will be recorded, and you could watch it whenever you want. And you can send in questions if you have anything on that. So again, you can sign up. If you just want to sign up for the class this Saturday, March 21st, it's $147 for the 2 hours, and it's recorded. You can ask questions. If you'd like to do all 4, just throw out that you get a 20% discount going to be 469 for the four. And again, all of these are the types of trades we're doing now in the market because they're hedged. All right. Well, let's move on. Again, another big day down in the market. And I'll just talk about one of the things that we'll be discussing this week. But let's do this together. First of all, I want to give you my in this new market environment, which will be here for the next 2-3 months. And I kind of brought this up in one of our classes today, but I think you guys might like it. We're going to be addressing, and a lot of these strategies I'll be looking at, especially this Saturday for the Hedged series. When using credit spreads, some of the examples I'll use, I'm going to call it the Magnificent Seven. For a while, the FANG stocks became popular, but over the next 2-3 months, we put together a list. We did this with some of the students. We all put it together. We'll call this the Magnificent Seven from the old-time movie, and that with Yul Brynner. But the Magnificent Seven are going to be think of 7 stocks, right? A, most of them are up today. But B, these are the ones that are going to be thriving over the next 3 months, right? Ones that are directly benefiting from everybody going to be in the house, right? And buying groceries online and stuff. So let's go through the Magnificent Seven. Tell me if you agree. Number 1, Amazon. With SPX getting beat up today, what's Amazon? Well, it's down 1.75% today with SPX down over 5. But would everybody agree in our Magnificent Seven of 7 stocks that will probably be some of the better performing stocks over the next 2 or 3 months? Would you agree Amazon should be on the list of the Magnificent Seven? Next, Walmart, Costco. We're talking about what are 7 stocks, the Magnificent Seven, that should be doing pretty well over the next 2 or 3 months. Amazon, Walmart, Costco, Netflix. Right? If everybody's home in their house, you're going to be watching Netflix. Target, Clorox, and UPS. Now, you could add a couple more to these, but I was also looking some that are high enough price we could trade options with. You could add Zoom. You could add, because a lot of people that will be home will be using those types of services. You could use other companies, but they might be lower price. I guess you could throw Visa and MasterCard, but I think this would be a good list of 7. And even on a day like today, right? A lot of these are doing pretty good. Let me take a look at some of them. You've got, boy, McDonald's is getting killed today, isn't it? Down 15%. Walmart up 1.77% today. Costco's only down 1.52% with the market getting hurt. Target's down 6%, a little more. But some of the other Magnificent 7, Netflix down over 3%. Amazon's only down 2%. Anyways, those are some stocks to look at. So, a couple questions. If you're thinking of, with the market down 246, if I asked you guys, and this is really going to be kind of the impetus when we look at this Saturday, is going to be probably one of the best ones for the Hedge series, because how many of you guys do credit spreads? How many of you guys trade credit spreads? Or ladies, how many of you trade credit spreads? Well, I think this is going to be a big one this Saturday. Going to give you a lot of, 2 or 3 key ways that we're using credit spreads that'll be easy, simple, easy to manage, and will allow you to participate in extreme volatility, and you're not swinging deltas around. So I think if you trade credit spreads, this would be a great one for you this Saturday. But if I was asking you guys, hey, what are ingredients that you would want in a trade right now to jump in for you to feel at least comfortable coming in the market right now? Let's look at maybe what are some of the ingredients of a trade? Forget the type of trade, but give me some ingredients that you would want, and I'll help you. So first of all, with volatility up here about 84, do you want to be buying volatility, long Vega, betting it'll go higher, or do you want to sell volatility or be negative Vega? Okay, so the first ingredient, once we come up with these ingredients, these are the types of trades we're going to talk about in tremendous detail this Saturday in the first of our series of Hedged webinar series on hedged credit spreads. It'll be this Saturday at 11 Eastern. So short Vega. What's another? How about, do you want positive theta or negative theta? Do you want to be do you want decay working for you or against you? So you'd want positive theta. So Dan, what are you doing? I got in late. We're looking at the market down 100 and 243. If we're going to construct a trade right now, you're going to give me a checklist of what you're looking for that you want in a strategy right now, and then we'll go look for one. And these are all the strategies we'll be covering during the next 4 weeks. Do you want to swing deltas and be at risk of being on the wrong side of one of these swings, or would you like to be neutral deltas? Have your position deltas closer to zero. Neutral deltas. So all of the strategies that we're going to be doing in this hedged webinar series are going to fulfill these ingredients. Neutral deltas. And we'll look at one right now as soon as we're done with this. How about, do we want to be a little bit closer duration, A, or farther out duration to give us a little more time and gentleness of things moving against us? Would we like to be closer in or further out duration? A little bit. I'd probably say farther out duration, especially with short Vega. Farther. For those of you who came in a little bit later, we're looking at what are the ingredients we'd like in a trade right now to come in this crazy volatility. Farther out duration. And then one more. If I asked you guys, do you want little or no risk on the downside, A, or little or no risk on the upside, B, to start out? A, no risk on the downside, or little or no, or B, little or no risk on the upside. Would you like to construct these trades? Some say little or no risk avoidance, risk upside avoidance. Now, can we construct a trade that can only make money in no price risk and positive theta outside of Disney World? Yes or no? Can we construct a trade that can only make money? No. But with these trades that we'll be constructing, we're going to have very limited, we can set them up with no risk on whichever side you want and very limited risk on the other side, and we'll give strict risk management for it. In other words, one of the nice things with these high volatility is you can set them up that you have, like, your short strikes can be, way out of the money. So by setting this up delta neutral, in other words, we're giving you almost everything you want, except you'll have a little bit of risk in one direction, but very controllable. Does that make sense? In other words, it would take huge moves for you even to have to look at an adjustment. But we could set, the nice thing is we can set them up pretty, if you want to set them, I'm just going to put here what you want. Some people may say, how about no risk on the upside, little risk upside? Is that okay? I'm sorry. No risk downside, little risk upside. Or you could have little risk downside, no risk upside, whatever you want. But what we'll go over on these strategies is clear risk management. Be simple. You only have to adjust one side if you needed to, if there was a big move, but there's very little risk in these things. Does that make sense? I want to be honest with you. I mean, you can't, I'd love to say, look, we can construct a trade that doesn't lose money, only makes money, and has no risk, but then I would get the Pulitzer Prize, wouldn't I? I'd get the Pulitzer Prize in an hour, wouldn't I? Maybe 2 Pulitzer Prizes. Let's construct one. This is going to be one of the trades that I'm going to talk about this Saturday, and I'll get into it with more specifics on these things. So in every strategy, I will give you very specifics, when I would put it on, how I would put it on, but I'll at least show you the setup for one of these, right? And I'll go over like 3 of these on this coming Saturday. Let me just make sure, because I was setting this up earlier. So stay with me. We'll just kind of walk through one of the trades I'm going to talk about in much more detail. So when I go over these trades on Saturday, I'm going to go over, again, with PowerPoint, so you have it. How do I set them up? When do I put them on? An up day or down day? How do I get them executed? How far out duration? The whole 9 yards, right? So that you can have this. This is going to be with slides. It's not going to be like mystical, right? That's how we do things here. So this will be very clear, and these will be 4 helpful things over the next 3 months and beyond, right? And I just think that's what prompted me to think about this series, as I think of how I could be a help to people with this, and I think these trades can be it. So let's go out to May 15th. I'm just showing an example here. I'm not saying this is, I'm just using this strictly as an example. I'm not getting into the detail that I would on Saturday, but here's 58 days out, and I'll explain this a little bit just to give you a touch of what we're talking about, something that meets all the ingredients that we were talking about: short vega, positive theta, minimal delta, less risk downside, or no risk downside, minimal risk upside, further duration. And again, we can set it up different ways, and I'll show you how to do that more on Saturday. But let's, 28, let me just set this up, and then just because the market moved quite a bit in the last bit of time. All right, let's go through our checklist of what we would want in a trade in this market. Number 1, and this is where the underline is right here in SPX. And we're going to do this in some of our Magnificent 7 stocks on Saturday also. But step number 1, is this short vega? Is this betting on volatility that it goes down? In our ingredients list, is this betting on volatility going down? Yes or no? Being short vega, are we betting on volatility going down? Yes. Second, is this trade positive theta? Is it positive decay? Yes. Number 3, minimal deltas. Our position deltas we're starting out are less than 1, right? So are we minimum position, one delta? Are we minimal position deltas? And we can even set it closer to zero. But to me, if we're within two deltas, one way or the other, minimal position deltas, if we go down another, and we can set this up different ways, but if we go down another two, if we go down, if SPX goes to zero, are we okay? This is the expiration graph. If SPX goes to zero, are we okay? If it goes to minus 2 billion, are we okay? Yes. On the upside, we have limited risk, and we'll talk about that. But the other thing is, this trade would cost about $1,500, and you're bringing in a credit of around $3, right? So what's your potential return? And I'm just throwing this out. Obviously, we'll go over a lot more, but what's the potential return? What would about $3,000 divided by 1,500 be? Be about 20%, right? $300 divided by 1,500, that'd be about 20%, right? The credit divided by what would be the risk or the purchasing power. All right. So what is this called? We're going to buy one, sell 3, buy 2. And we're buying the May 15, so we're out, what is that, 40, 50 days out? And we're buying the 2735 calls. We're selling 3 of the 2780s. And we'll show you how to easily get this executed. We don't necessarily put it in like this, but point is, so some of the names of this, Trevor says ratio broken wing butterfly. Okay, that's correct. What's another way of saying this, right? This is where the underline is. All of these options, are they in the money, at the money, or out of the money that we're doing? Just for sanity purposes. How far out of the money is it the short call that we're selling 3 of? How far out of the money, just for reality? Almost 500 points. You agree? The calls we're selling are almost 500 points out of the money. Let me say that again. The short calls we're selling are almost 500 points out of the money, and that makes it possible in this high vol environment. So that's going to be a big plus. What else is this? Another way to look at this. This is 2 call credit spreads that are 30 wide, right? Correct? 2 call credit spreads that are 30 wide, and then 1 call vertical debit spread that is 45 wide. Do you see that? Yes, no? This would be called a ratio butterfly, or just another way that might be easier, we're selling 2 call credit spreads that have a width of 30 wide, and we're buying 1 call credit spread 45 wide. So you can see, would there be any fear of the downside here? Yes or no? Would there be any fear of the downside? None. Your position deltas are under control. Do you have a little bit of room to your short strike? Is almost 500 points a little bit of room? Yes or no? A lot of room. A lot of room. And we're going to go over risk management, but these are easy. And so all these strategies that we're going to cover in the next 4 weeks are going to be very easy. You're not going to have a lot of adjusting on them. We're going to set them up very thorough for you. and you might at the most have one thing you might do at a very specific point, but none of these have a lot of risk and you have a lot of room, right? Because we're trying to get you on the right side of volatility. And so this Saturday, I'm going to talk about this type of trade in more detail. I'm going to go over it in some stocks, especially some of these Magnificent Seven stocks. And we could look at Apple and some of these other ones. And what we're going to go over this Saturday will be probably 2 to 3 specific strategies that I would be doing with credit spreads that would make you comfortable in this environment. Steve says, isn't the probability of touching the short call close to 50%? It's going to be less than 50%. But again, what's unusual about these type of things is if we did, let me ask you a question. If we got anywhere near the short strike, would volatility benefit us at all? What do you think? So if we touched the short strike, which is 400 to 500 points, do you think volatility would come down a couple points? What do you think? Volatility would come down more than you've ever seen in your entire lifetime. More than this. If Steve is, let's say, 50 years old, he's never seen how much volatility will come out in a lifetime. We're going to go over how do you handle these trades that are on the right side of volatility with minimal work, one adjustment, and teach you them. And that's really what I want to do is go over, whether you're beginner, intermediate, or advanced, teach you, let's face it, strategies usually aren't the problem, are they? It's the person managing the strategy, isn't it? Managing an iron condor. Does an iron condor have to be horrible in this environment? No, it should be good in this environment. It's the person behind the steering wheel, right? Does he know how am I going to navigate an iron condor in this environment? That's we're going to talk about hedged iron condor. So anyways, be there this Saturday at 11 Eastern. You can sign up on the front page. You can sign up for one of these hedged classes. Each class will be $147. Again, it'll be 2 hours minimum this Saturday. You'll get PowerPoint slides, but I'm teaching you this. I'm going over it thoroughly, how we do it. Or you can, if you want to do all 4 of them, which I would recommend, you can get a 20% discount. So come in ready to learn. Again, I will be very thorough in how I go through these, but none of these are going to be more than, it's mainly how do you set them up, why we do them, explain the strategy, and at the most, one adjustment, but only on one side, right? You're not going to have risk on both sides in these things. Yes, butterflies will be, this is, Trevor, what is this that I showed here? What would you call this trade? What would you call this trade that I'm showing you guys right now? This is a butterfly, right? So I will be covering this. This is a butterfly. There's other things, ways to call it, but I'll be covering broken wing butterflies. That's what this is, right? On both sides, the puts and the calls this Saturday, along with other ways to hedge credit spreads. So the class this Saturday will be hedged credit spreads. All right. Well, folks, if you have any other questions, you can email me, dan@sheridanmentoring.com, or just go to to sign up. All you need to do is go to the front page of Sheridan Mentoring, click on the Hedged webinar series, and it'll give you can sign up for one of the 4. You can sign up for all 4 and get the discount. Look forward to seeing you. It should be a great time. And again, the goal is to equip you over the next 2, 3, 4 months. How do you trade these things in a volatile market? So look forward to it. Thanks for coming today, folks, and we'll see you this Saturday at 11 Eastern. Thanks.